All right, the single biggest lie sold to our generation is that a house is always a safe investment. It's not. For millions of Americans right now, it's a financial suicide vest, and the pin has already been pulled. They call it the American dream, but it's become the American trap. A generation of people who did everything right are now house poor, chained to debt they can barely afford, praying the artificial value of their property doesn't evaporate overnight. And the math, the cold, hard math, proves this isn't fear-mongering. This is reality. As of 2025, a staggering 75% of American households are priced out of the market for a median-price new home. Think about that. 3/4 of the country can no longer afford the dream. To qualify for a mortgage on a typical home, you now need an annual income of over $126,700. It's a game rigged for the elite. But this goes deeper than mere affordability. In certain pockets of the country, the rot is structural. It's not just high prices. It's an unholy trinity of crushing taxes, insurance apocalypses, and local economies built on quicksand. In these states, we aren't talking about a gentle correction. We're talking about a systemic collapse, a bloodbath. Today, we're taking a road trip straight into the eye of the storm. 10 U.S. states doomed to collapse first as the housing market crashes. And you are going to want to stick around for number 1. It's the state everyone fled to for safety and affordability, only to discover they checked into the Roach Motel of real estate. It's a bellwether for the entire nation. This isn't a list, it's a survival guide. If this is the kind of unfiltered truth you're looking for, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. All right, let's hit the road. Number 10, North Carolina. Our road trip kicks off in a place that was supposed to be the smart move, North Carolina. Specifically, the hyped-up tech meccas of Raleigh and Charlotte. You were told to come here. Great jobs, affordable living, a better quality of life. It was the corporate American dream, packaged and sold to you. Except it was a lie. The promised land is now a minefield. The data doesn't lie. In Charlotte, the average sales price is already down 3.67% year-over-year as of May 2025. That's not a slowdown, that's a reversal. Inventory is exploding. Active listings in Charlotte are up a shocking 26% from last year. In Raleigh, it's even more brutal. The median listing price dropped 7% year-over-year as of August 2025. Homes are sitting for a median of 55 days. The frenzy is over. So, what's the real story? It's a classic case of corporate greed outrunning reality. Companies moved in, promised high-paying jobs, and Wall Street investors snapped up properties. Prices soared, but the wages never caught up. You now need a household income of almost $115,000 just to afford a median-priced home in the state. It's the bait and switch on a statewide scale. They lured you in with a 6-figure job offer, neglecting to mention that your new salary makes you a permanent renter. It's like being invited to an all-you-can-eat buffet and then being handed a cocktail fork to eat with. North Carolina's tech hubs are exposed. They are company towns with inflated asset bubbles. When the next wave of tech layoffs hits, these markets have nobody to sell to but each other. So, my question to you is this. Have you ever felt trapped by a relocation? Moved for a job only to find out the real cost of living crushed the raise you got? Let me know in the comments. Number 9, Tennessee. We leave the sterile corporate parks of North Carolina and head west, chasing the sound of honky-tonk guitars and the faint scream of bachelorette parties. Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, the It City. For a decade, this place was on fire. A non-stop party of cranes in the sky and cash in the register. But the music is fading, and the hangover is about to be brutal. The party's over. Home sales in Nashville plummeted 18% year-over-year as of May 2025. At the same time, the number of homes for sale has exploded. Active inventory is up a catastrophic 29% from last year. Properties are just sitting there. The median days on market has stretched to 68 days, up from 60 last year. And the price correction has already begun. Zillow data shows Nashville home values are already down 1.5% year-over-year. The most damning statistic? More than 1/3 of all home listings in Nashville have had a price cut. Sellers are in a panic. So what killed the vibe? Nashville sold its soul. It became a theme park. The entire economy was rebuilt to serve tourists and Airbnb investors. Prices were set by out-of-state money, not local wages. The very musicians and bartenders who make Nashville cool can't afford to live there anymore. It's a city that devours the very thing that makes it unique. A local blogger recently said, "You can't walk downtown without dodging a pedal tavern full of woo girls from Ohio." It's funny until you realize those pedal taverns pushed out 3 generations of local families. The verdict is clear. A housing market built on tourism is a house of cards. The moment a recession hits and people cut their vacation budgets, the entire foundation implodes. So tell me, have you ever watched your hometown get turned into a tourist trap? Seen its culture sold off to the highest bidder? Let me know your story.
Number 8, Colorado. Pulling out of Tennessee, we're heading for higher ground, literally. Denver, Colorado, the poster child for the work-from-anywhere fantasy. During the pandemic, an army of tech bros fled their coastal cubicles, cashed out their stock options, and brought their Silicon Valley salaries here. They bought the mountain view, the craft beer lifestyle, and a whole lot of overpriced real estate. It was a gold rush. Now, it's a ghost town in the making. The Rocky Mountain High was just the altitude sickness of a bubble about to burst. The numbers are a horror show. Across the Denver metro area, the months of supply of housing has increased by nearly 40% year over year, a flood of inventory. In fact, statewide active listings are up 22.6% from June of last year, hitting levels not seen in more than a decade. Nobody is buying. Homes are lingering for an average of 66 days. And the price drops are becoming an avalanche. A shocking 38% of all listings in Denver have had a price cut. 3. That's not a correction, that's a fire sale. The real reason? The entire market was a pandemic illusion. It was built on transient, out-of-state money. The income now needed to afford a median-priced home in Colorado is a jaw-dropping $168,643. That is completely detached from the reality of local wages. The Zoom class invasion turned a once-affordable state into a playground for the rich. Now, with return-to-office mandates and tech layoffs, the outsiders are leaving, and they are desperate to sell. Colorado is a case study in what happens when a market becomes addicted to outside cash. The foundation is fake. When the money dries up, the whole thing implodes, leaving locals holding the bag. My question is this: did your town get overrun by remote workers during the pandemic? What happened to your home prices and rents? Drop it in the comments.
Number 7, Utah. From the mountains of Colorado, we drive west into the heart of the next tech apocalypse. Utah, specifically the so-called Silicon Slopes. It sounds impressive, doesn't it? It was meant to. For years, Utah was the shining example of a pandemic boomtown. Tech companies came, young professionals followed, and home prices went to the moon. But it was all a mirage, a tech bubble in the middle of the desert. And now, the slopes are becoming a mudslide of bad debt and shattered dreams. The warning signs are blaring. Foreclosure activity in Utah has exploded, up a catastrophic 46% in the first half of 2025 compared to last year. That's not a crack in the foundation, that's a sinkhole. Inventory is piling up to levels not seen in 8 years. In Salt Lake County, active listings are up 23.7% year over year. The panic is real. Sellers are slashing prices at record rates. A record 34.4% of all home listings in Salt Lake County have seen a price cut. That's 1 in 3 sellers admitting they got it horribly wrong. Homes are just sitting, with the median days on market in Salt Lake City jumping from 31 to 49 days. The villain here is unsustainable, tech-fueled greed. The market was built on stock options, not salaries. To afford a median-priced home in Salt Lake City, you need an annual income of over $180,000. The result is a market completely disconnected from local reality. In Salt Lake City, a mortgage payment now consumes 43% of the median household income. The Silicon Slopes are a fantasy land, built on the idea that the tech money printer would never stop. It has. Now, the state is facing a brutal reckoning as thousands of homeowners realize their paycheck can't support their zip code. So, let me ask you this. Do you live in an area where one industry dominates the housing market? What happens when that industry stumbles? Tell me your story below.
Number 6. Nevada. We are now leaving the mountains and driving deep into the desert toward the glowing neon heart of the American gamble, Las Vegas, Nevada, a city built on illusion and optimism. And nowhere was that illusion stronger than in its housing market. For years, it was one of the hottest bets in the country. The house always wins, and you, the homeowner, are about to bust. The data is a total system failure. In Las Vegas, the for-sale inventory has exploded, up a jaw-dropping 54.2% year over year as of July 2025. Meanwhile, sales have plummeted. The number of homes sold is down nearly 6% year over year. This is a market seizure. In Reno, the situation is even more desperate. Nearly half of all listings, a staggering 49.15%, have had a price cut. That is double the national average. The smartest guys in the room are already at the cashier's cage. Wall Street. At the peak of the frenzy, investors owned 15% of all homes in Clark County and a shocking 25% in North Las Vegas. They created a false market, outbidding families and driving up prices. Now they're quietly dumping their portfolios, and the carnage is just beginning. Nevada now has the second highest foreclosure rate in the entire country, with 1 in every 831 homes in foreclosure. This was never about housing, it was about speculation. The income needed to afford a median home in Las Vegas is over $113,000, yet the median household income is a paltry $75,000. The entire market is a bluff. Nevada real estate is what it's always been, a gamble. And right now, the house is about to sweep the table clean, leaving thousands of homeowners with nothing but debt. So tell me, do you feel like investors have ruined your local housing market? Are you competing with all-cash offers from companies that will never live in the home? Let me know your battle stories.
Number 5. California. We now turn east and head back towards the coast, but this isn't a trip to the beach, this is a funeral for the California dream. For decades, this state was the undisputed champion, the golden goal. Buy a house here and you've made it. It was the safest bet in America. That bet is now off. The unthinkable is happening. The Golden State is crumbling from the inside out. Let's start with the most brutal, undeniable truth. A staggering 85% of California households cannot afford to purchase a median-priced home. Only 15% of families can qualify. You now need a minimum annual income of $232,400 just to get in the door. In Los Angeles, it's a mathematical impossibility for most. The typical home requires 104.5% of the area's median income. The cracks are already showing. In the tech-heavy Bay Area, inventory in some regions has surged 43% year over year. Forecasts predict a 5.2% drop in San Francisco home values by 2026. And the human cost is mounting. Foreclosure starts across the state are up 16% year over year. So what's the real villain? The very industry that built this house of cards, big tech. The state's economy became addicted to the artificial wealth of stock options and venture capital. Now, the hangover. Tech companies from Google to Cisco have slashed thousands of Bay Area jobs in 2025 alone. The high earners who drove the bidding wars are disappearing. California is a luxury brand that has priced out its own customer base. It's a feudal system where only the already wealthy can own land. The great exodus of its middle class has removed the foundation, and the entire structure is becoming unstable. This is a big one, so I need to hear from you.
Have you ever considered leaving your state because you were completely priced out? Is the dream dead where you live? Number 4, Texas. All right, let's talk about the big one, the Lone Star State. For the last 10 years, you've heard nothing but the Texas miracle. Leave your high-tax blue state, come to Texas. No state income tax, endless jobs, cheap houses. It was the promised land for anyone fleeing the coasts. It's also the biggest financial lie in the country. The Texas miracle is a myth. It's a trap, baited with the promise of no income tax that snaps shut on you with the most vicious property taxes in America. Let's get one thing straight. Texas has the 7th highest property tax rate in the entire nation, with an average effective rate of 1.63%. That's nearly double the national average. That savings on income tax is a shell game. They just take the money from your home's equity instead of your paycheck. It's a forever mortgage owed to the government. And this hidden cost is finally cracking the foundation. Austin, the pandemic boomtown, is in a free fall. Zillow shows the average Austin home value is already down a brutal 6.8% over the past year. Forecasts predict another 4.2% drop by 2026. Across the Austin area, over half of all active listings have had a price drop. In Dallas-Fort Worth, housing inventory has hit a 20-year high. 2/3 of all homes are now selling below the original list price. The party is over. But here's the most damning proof: the human cost. As of the third quarter of 2025, Texas leads the entire nation in foreclosure starts, with 9,736 families beginning the process of losing their home. It also leads the nation in completed foreclosures. The Texas housing model is a scam. It lures you in with one hand while picking your pocket with the other. The dream of affordable Texas living is being eaten alive by property tax bills that never stop rising, and the foreclosure notices prove it. So I have to ask, what's the biggest hidden cost of homeownership where you live? Is it taxes, insurance, or something else they don't tell you about? Sound off in the comments.
Number 3, Idaho. We are now heading north, deep into the Rocky Mountains, to a place that became a verb during the pandemic: Boise, Idaho. It was the poster child of the Great Relocation, the #1 destination for equity refugees fleeing the coasts. They sold their $1 million California crap shacks and brought their cash here, thinking they were geniuses. They weren't geniuses. They were the greater fools. Welcome to ground zero of the most violent price correction in America. This isn't a forecast. This is a carnage report. Studies from multiple universities have consistently ranked Boise as one of the top 5 most overvalued housing markets in the entire nation, with homes trading at a premium of over 50% compared to their historical trends. The price collapse is already happening, with values plummeting from their peak. The entire boom was a complete and utter fantasy. It was driven by outsiders, not locals. The price explosion created a level of unaffordability that is frankly insane. To comfortably afford a median-priced home in Boise, a household needs to earn roughly $141,600 annually. But the actual median household income in Boise is only about $81,308. The math doesn't work. It never did. The market is now frozen. In July 2025, housing inventory was up a shocking 28% year over year. The Californians who sparked the frenzy are now trapped, desperately trying to sell. The panic is so bad that in some parts of the Boise metro area, over 1/3 of all home listings have had a price cut. Idaho was a speculative mania, a housing derivative disguised as a hometown. The outside money that inflated the bubble has vanished, leaving behind a broken market with no local buyers to sustain it. The race to the bottom is on. So, let me ask you, did your town get invaded by out-of-state buyers? Did you watch your home prices double for no logical reason? Tell me your story.
Number 2, Arizona. From the mountains, we descend into the Valley of the Sun. Phoenix, Arizona, the desert oasis. For decades, this was the retirement dream. Golf courses, sparkling pools, endless sunshine. Hundreds of thousands of people bought into a paradise built on a single fatal assumption: that the water would never run out. That assumption is now officially false. The dream is drying up and the housing market is about to turn to dust. This isn't a prediction, it is a government mandate. The state of Arizona has officially halted approvals for new housing construction in parts of the Phoenix metro area. Why? Because they can no longer guarantee a 100-year water supply. Think about that. The very existence of the suburban dream is now illegal in the fastest-growing parts of the state. And the current market is already in a death spiral. Active home listings in Phoenix are up a catastrophic 54.3% year over year. Statewide, inventory is up 24.7% from last year. A glut of desperate sellers, and they are slashing prices to get out. In Phoenix, a jaw-dropping 37.3% of all listings have had a price cut. Prices are already down 6.9% from their peak. The investors who fueled this frenzy are gone. Institutional investor purchases in Arizona plummeted 11% in the first quarter of 2025 alone. The smart money sees the writing on the wall. You can't flip a house that has no water. Arizona is a market built on a finite resource that is rapidly disappearing. The water crisis isn't a future problem. It is the knife currently stabbing its housing market in the heart. Property value is meaningless when you can't turn on the tap. So, my question to you is this: is there an environmental time bomb ticking under your city's housing market? A risk nobody wants to talk about? Let me know.
Number 1. Florida. And so we've arrived at our final destination, the epicenter, the state that sold the American dream better than any other. Florida. Sunshine, beaches, no state income tax. It was the ultimate refuge, the place you fled to from everywhere else. It is now the most dangerous financial trap in the entire country. This isn't a housing bubble, it's a financial black hole. Welcome to the uninsurable state, where the dream of paradise is being swallowed whole. Forget the median home price for a minute. The number that matters in Florida is the one they never talked about: insurance. Projections indicate the average annual home insurance cost in Florida could skyrocket to an almost unbelievable $15,460 by the end of 2025. Another analysis pegs the current average at $11,759, nearly 12 times higher than Vermont. It is financial warfare against the homeowner, and it has already broken the market's back. Inventory is exploding. Statewide, the supply of single-family homes is up 31.6% year over year. In pandemic hotspots like Cape Coral, active listings have swelled from under 800 to over 3,000. Sellers are in a full-blown panic. A record 32% of all listings statewide have had a price cut. In Southwest Florida, metros like Punta Gorda and Cape Coral are leading the nation with price cut rates of 41.8% and 39.9% respectively. The correction is brutal. Cape Coral home prices are down 7.7% year over year and 11% from their peak. And the human cost is devastating. Florida now has the highest foreclosure rate in the entire nation, with 1 in every 814 homes facing foreclosure. The verdict is in. Florida is the grand finale of the American housing collapse. It's a market dying, not from interest rates, but from reality. The combined forces of climate change and corporate greed have made the paradise tax unpayable. So my final question to you is this: has the rise in cost of insurance made you question whether homeownership is even worth it? Are you being priced out by risks you can't control? So this road trip across America shows us one terrifying truth. The crash isn't just one thing, it's a 10-headed monster. It's the unpayable taxes in Texas, the dry taps in Arizona, and the insurance apocalypse in Florida. The very foundation of the American dream is rotting from unique local poisons. This knowledge isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to arm you. Don't become their exit liquidity. Don't become another foreclosure statistic. So my final question is this: do you still believe your home is a safe investment in 2026, or has the entire game changed forever? Let me know in the comments, and stay sharp out there.